This episode of the Local Hustlers podcast is brought to you by Flamingo Pools, your go-to maintenance and repair company in the East Valley. Stop wasting your valuable time trying to take care of your pool and let the professionals at Flamingo Pools take care of it for you. Visit azflamingopools.com for a free quote today.
You're listening to the Local Hustlers Podcast, East Valley Locals. Get connected with small businesses near you and dive deep into their stories, mindset, and motives. Entrepreneurs everywhere. Get ready to be inspired by business owners, entrepreneurs, and hustlers that you can relate to and learn from. And now, your hosts, Dallin Huso and Ridge Waldberg.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Local Hustlers Podcast. We have a very special guest today, entrepreneur, full-time student, 4.0 student, I should add, and the owner of Luxe Skin Therapy and Beauty, Cierra Garcia. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. Well, thanks for being on the show today. We're excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's going to be super fun.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of stuff in that intro there, a lot of things going on in your life right now. Why don't you give us a quick, background on your life before we jump into what you're doing right now?
Current life or my whole history? Current life. I have two kids. My oldest is Tatum. She's 10, and I have a son. He's 8. We just started school. It's online, as everybody knows here in Arizona. So we started last week. So I've been kind of navigating that. I'm married. We've been married for 9 years, together 12. And I told him next summer, because we have a summer anniversary, but I want a big fat ring. So
upgrade time.
I want an upgrade. So next year's 10 years. So that's funny. But
that's awesome.
I started Luxe actually right out of school. I graduated aesthetics, and funny thing was nobody wanted to really hire me right out of school. Yeah. I had limited availability, so a lot of times they don't want the newbies, but also my limitations on my schedule. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start my own business. So that's what I did.
Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it was it was fast. So everything kind of fell into place. So that was nice.
So when you say right out of school, is that like esthetician school you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you do that right after high school, or did you do something else in between?
So high school, I'm going to age myself, but I graduated 2003 at Mesa High. So nice. I'm native. I live right down the street. But I was actually in hospitality for a long time.
Oh, wow.
That was my very first job. When I was 15, I started as a server. I bartended. I captained. I was a catering assistant. Opened in a hotel. So I was a catering director there. And I was doing that for 4 years. And then I think it was 2013. I stayed at home with the kids for 2 years. And then I decided to go into aesthetics. Yeah. So then I went to school. Yeah.
What made you decide to go into aesthetics?
Funny. I just don't want to be old. I know we're gonna age, but I've always been really big on skincare and things. I even sold Mary Kay for a short period of time. And so I was like, is there something out there that does skin? I didn't even know about aesthetics. Yeah. I just knew of cosmetology. So that's what got me in aesthetic school.
Is there a difference between aesthetics and cosmetology? I might need a bit of education.
We're not too educated on this.
Okay, all right. There's a little difference. So cosmetology goes over 3 areas. It's skin, hair, and nails, and then aesthetics is just skin. So skin.
Okay. So it's part of cosmetology.
But does it go into more depth?
Just of skin, yeah.
Right.
So, because cosmetology, it's very basic because you're learning 3 different areas. Whereas aesthetics, that's all you're doing is just skin. But it also extends waxing and facials and just lashes. So those kind of things too.
And so that's where you were focused on?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So is there specialties then in aesthetic? I guess people
services,
just do lashes,
specific services that you offer?
Yeah, I mean, there people have their, what is it, niche? Niche.
Yeah.
Whatever that
Everyone
word is.
says it differently.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? It was funny because somebody was talking about baseline, how people say Vaseline.
What? I've never heard of that.
I don't know. That sounds silly, but
people say Guadalupe.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm no.
No, it's not that. So I know it's funny, but yes, they're niche. Some people focus on lashes, and some people focus on like facial skincare stuff. So they could do microneedling, chemical peels, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion. You could do full body waxing, and then the specialty I think I would say would be like permanent makeup. Because, you know, like you see the girls with the brows, either laminated brows, if they did like microblading, ombre brows, powder brows.
I wish I could say I knew the difference. I just can tell when it looks a little different.
Right. You can tell when you look at a girl's face. Yeah. Yep. So those were kind of the niche. I think permanent makeup is kind of its own animal. So
That's cool. So just getting started, did you have like a pretty good idea of what you were gonna like focus on or niche in, or were you just trying to, you know, experiment in all those different categories?
I wanted to kind of open myself to all of them.
Yeah.
My favorites are the facials. I like skincare just in general. I like skincare. I enjoy it myself, but I also like giving skincare tips and treatment plans and things. But also I do love lashes. I love waxing. I tend to shy away from the permanent makeup, like the microblading.
Right.
So I do it.
Yeah.
But it makes me very anxious. So
why is that?
It's on someone's face, and it's semi-permanent. You know, I am good at it, but it takes me, I feel like, longer than a normal person would be. You know? So.
You could always test that on Ray.
Yeah,
He's trying to get his eyebrows.
I've been looking for a good eyebrow job lately. So
okay, perfect. Yeah, you could be my canvas. So
so in your experience, and I know this can apply to pretty much any sort of business, but have you seen more success in like being able to offer more services, or just being like really good at one or two specific things?
That's a good question. I feel like you're well-rounded when you offer multiple things. I feel like you shouldn't offer them if you don't feel 100% with each of them.
For sure.
But there are some girls that, you know, I follow or I really look up to, and they're super good at whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I always find it tends to be the lashes. They're super good at the lashes. They nail them every time. Or permanent makeup, or semi-permanent makeup. So yeah, if I feel like with me, I like to offer a lot more things and be good at the things that I offer. But I wouldn't discount trying something different. There's some things that I've been kind of looking at adding to the menu. So
that's cool.
Yeah, but some girls, that's what their focus is on, and they're super good at it. So
that's sweet. Well, if you don't mind, can we like jump back a little bit? And Dallin said that you're a full-time student and you have a 4.0 GPA. Why don't you kind of like share what that is? Because that's super interesting.
Oh yeah. So I consider myself a forever student. I love to learn. Nice. I love going to school. I like the discipline. I like the structure. I was at MCC, and then I got, just an associate's in arts. I went to ASU after I got that. I got my bachelor's in sociology. Wow. I feel like that's a degree of people. So it's very much passion for just people in general, to help and be empathetic and a servant to others. And then I am at Grand Canyon University now. So GCU, I am at mental health and wellness, and it's an emphasis in family dynamics. So it's a hard program, not in the sense of like the curriculum or anything, just finding the time to get everything done.
Right.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to start doing that, even though you already had a bachelor's degree?
I wanted to kind of fine tune my skills. Aesthetics is actually really, I know it sounds really funny, but aesthetics is really hard on the body. I'm very much hunched over all the time.
Right.
I have a neck injury, so it very much pains at the end of the day. I have very long days because I work so limited times. So I'll do like a 10 or 12 hour day, every Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'll work Saturdays and they come on Wednesdays or whatever. So it's painful on the body. I just figured that it would be something to have. It's good for the future. I want to eventually be in academia with like a university professor with that. Probably going to my PhD, but that's down the road. So.
Yeah. You got to check this master's off the list.
Yes,
first.
exactly. One thing after, one thing after another.
Yeah.
I feel like the PhD comes after, but probably in the next few years.
Yeah.
So can you kind of like dive more into like what your degree entails?
So you could use the degree. I mean, with mental health and wellness, I think it's very relevant anyways in my industry, even if I don't even use my degree, right? I feel like you're learning about just people in general, like the psyche, how to help them if they have issues. A lot of times when people are in with me, they're telling me all the nitty gritty of their life, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like being in this program really makes you stop and think and listen. And I think that is just important because just in general, you should be a
Well, I was
listener.
going to ask if like it's correlated in your business and you see any benefits on that side. So
it totally
like
is. So when you sit and they tell you, the client's telling you your life story and you're just listening, and I'm very much one to stop and like listen and not necessarily give my advice unless it's summoned if they ask me, and I'm like, okay, well. And I feel like this degree, it goes over a lot of things. It goes over parenting, it goes over marriage, it goes over healthcare reform and policy. It just, all that, I talk to people just, and it's relevant. Mental health and wellness in general is relevant,
For sure.
So I like that in aesthetics too.
Yeah,
so.
That's really cool.
Do you feel like you can diagnose somebody when they're just sitting there and they're just going on and on about certain things and you're like, oh yeah?
I mean, maybe to myself, like it's out of my scope to say, I think this is what you have.
At the end of this interview, you have to tell me and Ridge what
right.
you think about it.
Okay. I know what your problem is.
We'll say it's off the mic, but we'll keep it on.
Oh my gosh.
No, but yeah, mental health is like a pretty big thing right now and something that a lot of people are being more aware of, especially like in the business world. They say, an entrepreneur, there's so much stress and it can be like lonely and depressing. What's your advice to like, I guess, keep up your mental health and make sure that you're staying on top of that and focusing on that just as much as all the other aspects of your life?
I feel like, based on what I've learned and just me personally, there's a lot of different things. You definitely have to, I know it sounds weird, but nutrition plays a huge role. Nutrition, self-care, and I'm super huge on self-care. I'm always getting my massages and acupuncture and my hair and my nails and all these things, but that's my time, to decompress and do me time. Hobbies, finding something like being outdoors. They say there's a lot of studies of like if you're outdoors and you're connecting with nature, it like settles your soul, So just finding like hobbies and doing things for yourself. It's not a selfish thing because you're still worried about other people.
Right.
I'm worried about my husband, my kids, my career, everything. But recentering yourself. But I think those are the biggest things. Just finding the time to focus on yourself too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I've heard people say that like you can't help other people if you can't, like the more that you help yourself, the more that you're able to help other people as well.
Totally. Yeah. They say you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel that's very much accurate because you have to fill yourself up with like the goodness too, and I feel like you have to just have a positive mental attitude. Also being positive and looking at the bright side of things.
Yeah.
Cups half full, not half empty.
Yeah.
So I carry that a lot with my business in general. Like even driving here, me being in the accident, I'm like, I went that way for a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe if I were to go a different way,
Yeah.
there was a reason I went down Cooper. So
Right.
I always have that in my head. Like there's a reason. There's a reason
That's
for
cool.
this. So
Is that a hard mentality to like get in a good habit of thinking that way, or is it like natural for you?
no, it's definitely not natural. No, my husband, it is. He's a very lighthearted person. He's very happy all the time.
Yeah.
It, doesn't come natural to me. So maybe that's also why I'm in that program, to help myself. So, no, you have to just remind yourself. Sometimes things get hard and you just have to remind yourself on that. Pessimism will creep up, but you got to get that down. So
For sure. What are some hobbies or other things you do to like detox or kind of step away from business and focus on your mental health?
So not so much now, but traveling. We're a big traveling family.
That's cool.
So I said I was in hospitality and Marriott was, where I'm at. And like as far as that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
And we just like to travel. And one of the biggest things is with the kids, because they're 10 and 8, our bucket list is to visit all 50 states by the time they're 18.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome. So you got 8 more years.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
How many have you done so far?
21.
That's really good.
Yeah. 21.
So I guess jumping back on track, back to the timeline of things. At what point did you start going to school again? Was this before you started your own business or after? Or right around the same time?
Actually, right around the same time, because I started Luxe May 2016, and I graduated ASU. No, I started ASU, I'm sorry, that ended that summer.
Okay.
So May 2016, I started Luxe, and then that August, whenever school started up, was when I went to ASU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so throughout this whole time, you graduated from ASU and then started again at GCU, all while running this business.
Wow,
Yes,
that's
impressive.
exactly right.
Has that been hard to focus on two different things? Not only do two different things, but be successful in two different big aspects of life.
I feel like it's hard, but my mind is so like all the time on the go that that centers me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not doing anything, or if I'm super like slow, or that's not the best kind of mind for me. But if I have multiple things going on, yeah, totally. Like I can knock it all out and do good. So yeah, I feel it's good.
How do you feel like you properly manage it though? Like how do you feel like you prioritize it?
So sticking to schedules, I'm very like to the schedule. So, a lot of times when we were on campus, the kids were on campus at school, I volunteered on Wednesday and Fridays in their classroom. Then I worked Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. And then nighttime is usually when I did my homework and things, or super early in the morning, which there's more hours in the day, obviously. Yeah. But it was just finding the times. There were some times like I would have a client cancel like right in the middle of the day. I'd have my textbook and I'd just read it, or I'd bring my laptop and I'd do my discussion posts or whatever. Yeah. So finding those little times, maximizing my time.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm curious because I'm so bad at scheduling and I'm always trying to find ways to be better at it. Do you use like an app to do it, or do you have like a planner that you write in, or is it just in your head and you're able to just knock it all out?
Oh my gosh. If it was my head, I don't know if there'd be any room. No, I have a planner and I totally have an old school planner, like an actual paper one.
Oh, nice, yeah.
But I have to have it in certain writing, and I have to have it on a certain pen, and I have to, if I don't like it, or if it's scribbled, or if it's too fast, I white it out and I rewrite it. So
hey, whatever works.
It's silly, but it worked for me. So yeah,
that's cool. I'm so bad myself at like sticking to things. If I don't put it down, it's gone. I completely forgot. So
I feel like that would be me if I tried to remember everything. Like I wouldn't be able to. Like I can remember weird things like dates.
Yeah.
Everybody makes fun of me, like, because I was in hospitality. I used to do weddings, and I used to do parties and meetings and all that stuff. And, like, I can literally just belt out dates. Funny thing was, I did a wedding April Fool's Day. And if Jasmine's going to listen to this, I'm talking to her specifically. It was her wedding. It was April 1st, Fool's Day.
Interesting day to get married.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could
like,
do
is
that.
this real? Or?
I know, and I'm trying to think. I'm struggling on the year, but I did her wedding. I was there for like her wedding, coordinating her wedding. Fast forward, I'm at Luxe, and I have her come in, and I'm like, I know you from somewhere. And she's like, oh, I don't know. And she had that kind of uncomfortable, like, I don't know how you know me kind of thing. And I was like, I'll think about it and I'll let you know. And sure enough, she left. And then I got home and I was like, I did her wedding. So I texted her and I've had her for the past 3 years and I love her. She's one of my faves. So she comes in all the time. But it's just so funny that that's what I remember. Was her. I remember her face and I remember her date. Yeah. But the year always escapes me. So, yeah.
That's cool. So you mentioned right when you got out of school, there was no one that hired you. So were you not planning on starting your own business? Were you planning on just working for someone right out of school? Is that your original intentions?
Yes. So original intentions. I remember applying to a popular wax place. And a lash place. They wanted somebody more experienced, and then also open availability. They're like, we want somebody full time, just open schedule. And I just couldn't do that with the kids. Right. And so I just remember, no, I did not have intentions of opening. Eventually, yes, but not at the time. I remember doing like some folks at my house. So I was taking clients at my house and doing lashes and things. And, my kids would be yelling at each other in the background. My dogs would be barking, and I'm like, this is not ideal. So I looked at my husband and I said, I have to get a place. Like, I have to get out of here, And he's like, do you have clients? And I was like, no, not really. I mean, I have a handful, but they'll come. Yeah. They'll come. And he's like, okay. So that's just how it happened. Wow. So I rented a space, and then they came.
Wow.
Isn't like that movie, You Build It, They Will Come? You know?
Yeah.
Was that a big leap of faith for you? Well, the way you told the story, it sounds like you were pretty confident in yourself and your ability to get clients, or maybe just in the work that you do that you knew they would come, or like how nerve-wracking was that to rent a place and get going on your own?
It was nerve-wracking. I feel like the biggest thing was in my head paying the rent like every month, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to do all this work and all these clients, and it's just like going to my rent. So I had to set it up where I'm like, this is how many clients I need per month. This is how much, supplies and whatever equipment costs or, product. And I just kind of laid it all out.
Yeah, so you had a bit of a business plan.
Yeah, so like a business plan, financials and stuff.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, as long as I hit this amount of people, then the next month it just kind of steamrolled, Like I hit it, but then I went more and then whatever. So I always have these little goals in my head. Yeah. I have a goal set now, and I mean, it's just a personal goal, and still kind of working on it, but it's a work in progress, I guess. Yeah. So
how do you get over the fear of like taking that leap? Like you said, you had nothing when you were starting, but you just got a place. How did you get over that fear and just do it?
I feel like I do that a lot with everything. I'm very, if I have my mind set to something, I just do it. Yeah. And I think that is why my husband likes me so much. He loves me so much because I'm just so like I have something in my head and I just do it. Yeah. I literally have been looking for a travel trailer for like a year now, and he's like, no. And I just went in there and I just got it. I just went in there. I was like, hey, we got a travel trailer. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we got to go camping and we got to be outdoors, like this is great. So I have these impulses, I guess.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you could do, I mean, even if I fail, like what's the worst thing, right? Like you just do something different or you modify it or whatever. So I don't really have that fear so much in anything I do, not just business.
What's awesome. Your advice for someone who's like has an idea or has this business they want to get started, but they're just trying to take that step to actually get going?
Honestly, I get this a lot with my clients. They always ask all these kind of questions, and they're like, I'm thinking about doing this, and what do you think? And I'm always 100% proponent of like, you got to do it. You'll never know, and you'll kill yourself like being like, oh, I should have done it, or what took me so long, or whatever. And I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, it's not like your life is on the line. You know what I mean? It's like you can do something just different. You have to just try it though, because you just won't ever know, and that would kill me more than failure, I guess.
For sure, yeah.
So,
I feel the same way.
I think we get like so stuck in like we're so scared of a certain situation that we're in, but what we don't realize is that we've probably been through a similar situation and we're still here. Like
totally,
we still make it out alive.
It's so true.
But we get so stuck on something and so infatuated with just this one thing going on, and it's like, okay, you made it out the last time. You're gonna make it out again.
It's so true.
Yeah,
I feel like you definitely have to think of that. And what is that? There's that quote. It says something like, what's the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, if something doesn't work, don't keep doing it, right? Like, you have to change it up a little bit. Yeah. So, just trying and changing it if it doesn't work the first time is just I think key. So
well, it sounds like you need to hook up a mic when you're working on your clients and just record your own podcast.
Honestly, I thought about it. I totally have thought about that. I do have a few that would totally be like the best on the podcast.
It'd be actually a super interesting thing.
It would.
Yeah, I've thought about that actually.
That's
just
funny.
Renting even a bigger space and having like an office and be like, hey, before your like appointment, you have to podcast. You know what I mean? You have to get on here. We have to talk what we talk about, and then we give you your service,
That's really funny.
Well, because it just all comes out when you're, I don't know, like when I'm talking with my barber, like I'm just telling him whatever. Like I don't really care, and it's just nice.
Yeah.
Just have those deep convos sometimes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, because I also think, there's some things that people want to say that they can't say to their friends or family.
Right.
Yeah.
And not that I'm a stranger, but I'm not somebody in their life that like I'm.
You don't have much connection.
Yeah,
like,
and you're not gonna like judge them for
totally not. And I think that's why they feel comfortable talking. And when they're on that flow, I just I zip it and I vibe with whatever they're like saying. I'm just listening, and then I'll if they ask me something, they're like, "What do you think?" Then I'll say something. I don't like offer the advice or whatever, but sometimes they just want to get things off their chest, and. Or, they'll tell me these wild stories. Like, I'll confirm their appointment the day before and they're like, oh, I have a wild story for you. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like the best thing ever. Because then you think about it and you're like, oh, it's going to be juicy, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. I love days like that. So
Do you spend more time cleaning your pool than you spend swimming in it? Then call Flamingo Pools today. Flamingo Pools is your go-to swimming pool maintenance and repair company in the East Valley. Whether it's weekly maintenance, repairs, green to cleans, or one-time cleanings, Flamingo Pools will take care of you. Honest, reliable, and innovative. Just a few of the many good things Flamingo Pools customers have to say about them. Ask them about their mineral treatment, which will keep your chemical levels down, allowing you to have a healthier bathing experience. At Flamingo Pools, they know that your pool was made to be enjoyed, so let them handle the rest. Check them out at azflamingopools.com or give them a call at 480-422-6013. Mention this podcast and you'll get your first month of maintenance completely free. That's azflamingopools.com and 480-422-6013.
That's cool. So I'm curious. Well, so it sounds like a lot of these customers, like recurring customers, they come back over and over.
Yeah.
How much of it do you think has to do with like your skill level versus your personality and your ability to connect with them?
That is so funny you even say that, because I think about that. I'm like, dang, what if I wasn't like as good as like I thought I was or whatever? And they just come in here just like for the conversation.
They just want a friend.
I know. I'm like, dang. So that's kind of
They're
like the blow to the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are they paying for like a therapy session? I feel kind of weird like taking money for that, but no, I want to say I feel like I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like, arrogant in that any kind of sense or whatever,
No,
but
yeah.
I feel like I'm knowledgeable in skin enough where like they come back because they have issues that they're working with. Like
Right.
I have a lot of acneic clients, a lot of anti-aging clients, somebody with pigmentation. I have a few of those with pigment, after they have kids, they get pigment. And we definitely see a difference. So it is on the right track. So I'm assuming that my skill level's there.
Yeah.
But I mean, conversation too. I mean, the Brazilian waxes that I do a lot of Brazilian waxes. Okay. And I only do women, but a lot of times it's like 30 minutes. And those are the girls I see every month. They're always every month. Like, and those are the ones that are always like, they talk really fast to get everything out because we only have 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So I think they're the ones that really like the conversation, you know? So my Brazilian girls, shout out to the convo. So. Yeah.
So question. So I'm a guy, obviously, so I don't know like how a girl's mind works. But does there have to be a certain level of comfort for certain services that you offer?
Yes. So
to like trust you to do that sort of thing.
Yes, I would say because like for me, I'm a professional, so like I don't care. I don't even think about it.
Right,
it's just like I'm just doing my job, right? But I get that all the time. I can't believe how you do this. How can you do this? And I'm like, it's literally just another day at the office, right?
Yeah.
But yes, you have to get comfortable because there are girls that like will jump around to waxers because they don't feel comfort with them. And I'll hear all kinds of crazy stories like, they don't talk to them at all, or they took like an hour when it should only been like 20 minutes, like, or whatever, it hurt immensely, or whatever it was, and I'll hear all these stories and I'm like, oh dang. And by the time we're done with our conversation, I'm done. And they're like, oh, that was great. I'm like, okay, great. And so I feel like the Brazilian wax girls definitely need a comfort, like with somebody. You have to be good at what you do, not weird and awkward, because that's who wants that. And then, but there is definitely a comfort level you have to be good with as a client. But with me, it's just another day. So
So do you like you just kind of distract them from what's going on? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly what I do. And I tell them that all the time. I'm like, I just distract them. I keep talking, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and okay, do this and hold your legs and da. And they're just like, wow, you're already done. And I'm like, I'm already done. It's a distraction. That's the number one thing. Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. Where do you find these clients to begin with? Like, how do these loyal recurring customers find you in the first place?
So when I first started 4 years ago, I specifically, when I was in school, I'd have models. Yeah. So the models would come in, right? And I had to graduate school, you have to have 100 faces in front of you, okay? Because you have to look at all the different kind of skin disorders. If it's, sebaceous hyperplasia, if it's actinic keratosis, whatever it is, you have to see all the different skin conditions, right? So you have to have 100 faces in front of you. So I would just make like a little cute, like, I don't know, graphic or something and post it all over Facebook. So people would message me, hey, I saw, your ad, can I be a model, right? So that's how they got into school to be my model. fast forward, when I graduated, I contacted that whole list of people. So I said, hey, I'm on my own now. Would you, consider coming in? And it's like, you were a model once. Come and get, let me do services on you, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how they started coming in for like facial services and lashes. Groupon, I actually ran a Groupon for Brazilian waxes because I needed to feel more confident in it.
Yeah.
And so I started out with that. And literally 80 to 85% of the girls stayed with me from that. So some people have a thing about Groupon, like, oh my God, whatever. You don't make anything. But
I've heard that it takes like all of your profit pretty much.
It really does. It takes a lot of it.
So it's just a way to market then.
Yes, that's exactly right. But the whole point is for them to like you, for them to come back, right? And the wax is kind of nice because it's a residual thing because they come back every month, 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah. So that's how I kind of marketed it. And then now, to fast forward 4 years, it's word of mouth. Just friends upon friends, referrals. Yeah.
And it just keeps growing, snowballing from there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I have 3 sisters, so they send me a lot of people.
Nice,
so my sisters.
So networking as well.
Yeah, networking. There you go. Yep.
I'm sure it's a big word of mouth industry. Like, hey, who do you use? Because they like trust somebody else. And,
yes. Yeah. And it's ironic because I have a lot of Brazilian women actually from Brazil as clients. And it's kind of a nice thing for me because they're like, we love your Brazilian wax. I'm like, cool, coming from Brazil, right?
Is there a reason why it's called Brazilian?
Yeah.
This might be a dumb question.
Honestly, no, it's not. I mean, honestly, I think that's where it originated is what the whole thing is, and that's, but it's funny because when they come in, they say it's completely, like, yes, the idea of what's going on is the same, but the way it happens is completely different. So, it's very intense in Brazil. Like, you have to be like, I don't know, some Hulk to like manage it or whatever. Oh, wow. But here it's more, Americanized, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do have that following, the Brazil girls. Yeah. So they all talk to their friends and they'll come in. Like I have a client that she doesn't even speak any English. So we'll translate by Google. So that's
really?
Kind of cool. Yeah, totally.
That's really awesome. And you're still able to like maintain that comfort with her.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I know it's just like these funny little scenarios or whatever. But yeah, we'll just Google translate each other. And she's like, she does a YouTube channel, I think she actually said, but it's for her Brazilian friends. And so she markets me on that. So that's cool.
That's really cool.
Do you feel like your degree has helped with that or just you as a person? Because like not everyone can just make someone feel comfortable when that's going on.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, I have the music, so I set the tone, and then like we chat about like life stuff. I'm always talking because like sometimes they're trying to concentrate on what's going on. Yeah. But I'm like, no, girl, think about like what I'm saying, right? Right. So I mean, I think it's both. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like my my Grand Canyon, like not my degree or anything from that. Maybe my personality is just, comforting to girls because I don't know, I just have a lot to talk about with them and make them feel comfortable. So I feel like it's a little bit of both. But facials, I try to not say anything. Yeah, obviously, they're trying to relax. So I have like the spa music and we have the warm towels and the massage and stuff. So
you're making me want to go get one.
Yeah, I think I need to go get a facial.
Facials are great. Yeah, I do have guy clients. So yeah,
you got 2 more.
Yeah, totally.
I noticed on your Instagram account you have like an avatar.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about like why you did that? What the story is behind that?
Okay, so the avatar came because I don't actually like to be in front of the camera ever. I just don't. Even like doing this is like a step out of my comfort zone. But I like to push myself out of my comfort zone because that's where growth happens, right? So, my avatar is for the days that I don't want to be in front of the camera. So I pop my face on as like a special I have going on, or I don't know, something that I have to, broadcast, like, oh, hey, Dover Road's closed, take an alternate route or whatever it is. So I use my avatar instead of my face.
Oh,
I know.
Where did you get it made?
There's a lady on one of the Facebook, it's Arizona Estheticians page, and she had gotten it done by this one girl. Her name's Irina, but I can't remember her company. I could look it up, but her company took about a 2-week turnaround. It was like $50. And then you send in a photo of your face, like a close-up.
Yeah.
And then a outfit from Pinterest, whatever outfit you want. And then your tools. So like my tools for an esthetician, I had like a spoolie brush, tweezers, a wax stick, whatever. And so like my avatar's holding it, right?
Nice.
So you just send that information in, like those photos, and she just, makes it up. So yeah,
That's really cool.
It was really cool. I liked it. I love using her, and I try different backgrounds with the avatar and stuff. So.
And so is it just like one picture, or can you get the avatar like doing different things with their hands, or like how does that work?
I don't know. It's just the one picture, but I've been thinking about that. I would really love like a Bitmoji, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
The different like things, right? I kind of want that.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Or if you get like a moving of it to do.
I think that's the next adventure.
Yeah.
You got to figure that one out.
I know. That's absolutely. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, how can I do that? But she gave me the rights to it, so it's not like I'm infringing on that, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's
you
mine.
Own the
Yeah. It's mine. It's me. Yeah. that's my person. So I don't know, but I definitely would like it to be in action, but I just don't know how or where. So.
That's cool. Rich, we might have to get ourselves some
I know,
avatars.
we need some avatars.
Totally.
We'll work on
Do
it.
the work
fun.
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
So I just like the name Luxe in general.
Is Luxe like short for luxurious?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's exactly right.
Okay.
I liked that because it just seemed like a step up above the ordinary, right? It's like luxury.
Yeah.
I put skin therapy because I wanted people to know I was skin, but not just skin. So that's why I added the beauty. But then as I go 4 years later, my husband's like, why don't you just take off the therapy? Just do Luxe Skin and Beauty. But I'm like, but then I have to redo all my stuff, my marketing materials and everything. And he's like, well, you should just do it. So maybe I'll rebrand down the road. But I really like the name Luxe in general. But there's a lot of places that have Luxe that I don't want them confused. That's why I kind of made it as specifically like that name.
So does Luxe, because obviously luxurious sounds like high-end, does that attract more like high-end clients to you, do you think?
Probably, I don't think so. I feel like my people are a lot of everywhere, every kind of woman, not just luxury women. I have really young girls that come in. I have, older adult women, middle adult, women with children, women not with children. Like I have all kinds of people on the spectrum that come in,
Yeah.
So I don't think that it targets just a specific kind of lady. So no, I think Luxe was just a cute name for me. So yeah.
What's been your pricing strategy? Like, have you tried to be lower than most people and be an affordable option, or are you more like high-end pricing, or somewhere in the middle? Like, what have you decided on?
So I'm right in the middle. When I first started out, within a 5-mile radius, I kind of looked at the pricing menus for pricing menus for other estheticians nearby. I didn't want to be super low and I didn't want to be super high, so I kind of fell right in the middle. I did just a slight price increase in May when we came back. We got the shutdown. I was at home during all of April when Ducey opened us back up May 8th. I did a little slight price increase. It was only like $5, so it wasn't a lot. But I haven't raised my prices for years. I mean, my prices has literally been the same since like I've opened. So I just did a little slight increase. But as far as pricing strategy, I base it on cost per treatment. And then people, like the businesses around me, I don't want to be super high and I don't want to be super low. I kind of want to be right in the middle and affordable to everybody because I have that whole spectrum of girls that come in.
Right.
So.
That's cool. How did that shutdown affect you, like mentally, financially? Was it pretty tough on you, or were you able to hold off?
I was able to be okay because my husband was still working. He's a superintendent, so
cool.
he was able to work, but he's working from home, so that was kind of nice. But I stopped taking clients like end of March or mid-March because actually I had that vacation for New York.
Oh, yes.
So I was literally off starting March 17th was when we were supposed to be in New York.
Right.
So I was off starting then,
Yeah.
and then I didn't go back until May 8th when Ducey opened us up. But for me, I kind of just fell in the middle. I was okay with us closing, and I was okay with us opening. I was like, whatever's going to be is going to be. So I had to we were financially fine, but it affected me because I thought I was more of an introvert, to be honest, but apparently I'm an extrovert. I need that social. So found that out about myself. But I missed my girls. I missed the conversations. I couldn't wait to get them back in because I'm like, oh my gosh, we have 2 months to talk about stuff, It was more of like social. I missed my social time with, my friends and my clients and stuff. So, but financially I was fine. And then mentally, I got more time with my kids. So I was okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was okay.
Awesome.
I got to, we did all kinds of stuff, outdoors, but distanced. So,
well, it's what you talked about earlier, like finding like the glass is half full. You found, ways, positive things from your business being shut down. Yes,
that's exactly right. Yep.
I want to talk a bit more about like the business aspect of things. So like what is your ultimate goal with Luxe? Like, do you want to grow this bigger? Do you want to hire employees, or do you want to keep this as just something that you do on the side that you make some extra money with?
I definitely would like to get a bigger building. Mm-hmm. I would like to get 1 or 2 employees. I would like to get them fresh out of school like I was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then train them the way that I know how to train them, because I feel like a lot of the new girls, because when I get my own facials and stuff, I go to places, I don't ever tell them I'm an esthetician. I don't like that weird, like, I don't want them quizzing me on things. Right. Like, I don't want them to be like, well, what is this? And I'm like, I'm just trying to get a facial, So I don't say I'm an esthetician. I just get my facials, or I could dermaplane my own face, but I still like the relaxation.
Right. You don't want to do that to yourself.
Yeah, it's like not relaxing. I'm like, here's a hot towel on my face. But I like to relax, so I don't say anything, and they just do what they do, But I definitely notice a difference. I could tell when they're a little bit newer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't offer them any suggestion. I think it's super rude. So I don't say anything. But I would like to get them fresh out of school. So if I was to hire, I'd like to get a new girl right out of, or boy, whatever, out of school, and then teach them what I know and teach them the way that I do things, because it would be helpful, and then I can grow in that way. Right. Get more clients, because then I can share the load, Yeah. Right now, I actually have my sister. She's a cosmetologist. So I have my sister coming on Mondays, and she does the Brazilian waxes on Mondays. So that's kind of cool, because, she's my sister. I love her. And I would love to see her do big things, or do a side hustle, with me. Yeah. So
that's cool. At what point do you plan on hiring someone? Is it more on like waiting for the right person, or just when you're too busy to do it all on your own?
I want to wait till after I graduate. I was supposed to graduate this December, but I took a leave of absence during COVID because I was with my kids, and I had to teach, I had to do everything online at home. So I took a leave of absence for GCU just from the COVID time. I think it was like March 28th, and I went back like May 12th or something like that. And so I was supposed to graduate this December. So now it pushed it back to next March. Gotcha. So as soon as I graduate next March, that's when I want to do something different. Like, I want to get something bigger. I want to make it mine. I want to make it like maybe rebrand at that time. Who knows? You know? Yeah. But then hire somebody and just kind of expand. So
that's cool. How much time do you feel like you spend like on the business versus in the business? So like working on people, working with your clients versus like the business side of thing, like finance, trying to find new customers, etc.
So I don't do a lot of finding new customers at the moment. I'm pretty good with, I could always, I love people. They get, that's fine if I get new clients, but I'm saying like, I don't advertise
You're
so
not
much
actively marketing to new people.
Yes, that's exactly right. Right now, I actually spend a great deal of time scheduling because I will literally, my cell phone is my business phone. Ooh. So when I'm sitting at home at 9:30 at night, I'll get a text like, hey, do you have something tomorrow? Or, oh, hey, I have an appointment on Thursday, but can I change it? I got the day off. Can I come earlier? Or whatever it is. And which I don't mind. Obviously, I would set limits if I did mind. I don't mind. Yeah. But I do spend a great deal of time schedules and then updating schedules and then blasting out the times that I have open, because that's what I usually do. I always book a month in advance. Oh. So like the first of the month I book for the next month. So what is it? Saturday's August 1st. I'll put out my September schedule. Oh, so then all my regulars see my Instagram. They say, oh, I see that day and time came up. And that's how I get a lot of them to schedule.
Oh, that's cool. So you do it through Instagram to show them what you have.
So I have a website, so people can go on my website and book. That's cool. I open just certain windows that I need to fill. Like there's some times that are harder to fill than others. Like mornings are easier and evenings. but during the middle of the day.
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah, it could be slow, but I get moms that their kids are in school or, nurses that slept for the morning. Now they could come in, whatever. But there's slower times. So I open that up on my website so they can book it manually, or they could text me, or they could call me. So, and that seems to be, it works for me as far as like always knowing my schedule a month in advance. So
that's cool. Did you figure all that out on your own, like the website stuff and things like that, or did you have somebody help you out with that?
So when I first started, I didn't even think I needed a website. Yeah. Which, I mean, thinking about it, I'm glad I did get a website. Yeah. But I was contacted by a website developer called PageVamp. Okay. And they actually did the whole website and then sent it to me and was like, this is what we can do for you. And I was like, ooh, I like it. Huh. So I just been with them ever since. Cool. And then they use like a booking program. It's called Simply Book Me. And it was just all done for me. Every year I just renew it and it's great. Nice. So I like that.
Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So do you recommend that for someone that needs a quick website then?
Totally. They're on a different time zone though. So it's kind of weird because if you ever need anything from them, it's like at the exactly. Yeah. It's like I have to message them at like weird times. Yeah. But I just renewed it in May and I noticed on my website it said not secure. So I was like, oh no, that's a problem because people aren't going to put their information if it's not secure, right? So I had to message them at like midnight, so they could get it. I think they're from New Zealand or whatever, but so they got it and then they're like, no problem. So they SSL'd it or whatever it's called. I'm not techie, but that's what they did. So it was really quick, but it was a weird time. So yeah.
Has this whole process of like getting customers, setting everything up on the business end of things, has it been easier than you thought, harder than you thought, or was it kind of like what you had in mind?
It was kind of what I had in mind. It wasn't super hard. I feel like the techie stuff is super hard. Yeah. And when I say techie stuff, I mean like the websites, like the social media, getting followers, right. Growing your, people you're following or whatever. I want people following me that like on Instagram or Facebook that are actually wanting my services or interested in what I have to say. Yeah. I wouldn't be one to like pay for followers or like people that are like
buy like 10,000 followers from India or something.
Yeah, I'm like, this sounds kind of hoaxy, but I want people that like follow me that are interested, not just anybody. Like they don't like you don't have to follow if you don't like what I have to put out there, Yeah. So I feel like the social media growing is kind of hard.
For sure.
Let's see. As far as marketing, like I just don't know what the best ways are. So I mean, I almost find or tend to like stay with what I'm just doing, than looking for other things, which that could be a good or bad thing because you can if you are looking for other things, it could be good. Like you could, blow up or whatever, or I could spend so much time and not get anything, So I don't know. I feel like the techie stuff is hard for me. So, yeah.
It can be difficult. Tech is an interesting thing. You kind of have to sit down and just really poke at it for a little bit. But
yeah, totally.
Why you kind of get someone to do it for you. Sometimes. So.
I'm a creature of convenience.
Ridge, do you have anything else you want to go over before we kind of jump into our next?
I think I'm pretty good. I think I need to study more on aesthetics and stuff.
I know,
take care of my face and skin.
Yeah.
I was looking at myself during this. I'm like, wow, I really don't care for my skin, I guess.
Yeah, it happens. Largest organ of your body, though, is your skin. So that's what it is. Yeah,
it's true. So
what are so I'll ask this real quick. What are like some things that people can do on a daily basis to keep their skin health up to par?
Yeah, I mean, as far as you should definitely, we live in Arizona, so sunscreen is a must, obviously. I was just having this debate back and forth with my sister because she's looking for a new sunscreen and or sun protectant, and she was talking about titanium dioxide versus zinc oxide, right? And like, just when you're looking at different sunscreens and like the SPF, you have to have at least SPF 30. I mean, higher is 50 is good. Yeah. But once you start getting these like ridiculous ranges, like SPF 1 million, it's all the same, right? It's like, okay, come on. Like once you get to 100, it's usually not any better the higher you go, right? Yeah. So definitely sunscreen. You have to have it every day. Hydration, drinking a gallon of water a day is ideal. But I mean, obviously, I don't even like to drink a lot of water, but I put some cucumbers in or whatever. So, but But just lotioning. I like serums. Serums are very, very nice just on the daily. Serums, not even just for your body, but your face.
Yeah.
Serums are smaller molecules, so they'll penetrate your skin better.
Okay.
Then moisturizer. Moisturizers kind of tend to sit on the face, right?
Huh.
So if you're going to get one thing, you know, like get a serum, you know, if you want to hydrate your face. So cool. I like that.
Cool. We'll make sure to take notes on that.
Yeah.
Good steps to take.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, before we finish up here, we have a little game that we're going to play with you.
Okay.
We know you said something about not liking pop quizzes, but
I totally hate pop quizzes. Okay.
this will be good. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, which is good.
Good grief. Okay.
So how it's going to go is you have 60 seconds, and we've got a list of questions, and you're going to answer as many questions as you can within those 60 seconds. And they're just questions about like you, things that you like, your preferences and stuff. So
perfect.
Not scary at all.
Okay.
Not scary.
That seems easy.
Tricky.
Yeah.
And whenever Ridge is ready.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Music you turn on when nobody is around.
Country.
Nice.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Reading people's minds.
Stuck on an island, what would you bring?
Those Flint lighter things.
Nice.
If you could have dinner with anyone in time, who would it be?
Dinner in time. Like famous?
Anyone.
Probably. I mean, passed away?
Yeah.
My dad. My dad passed away, so I would like to have dinner with him.
Yeah, that would be good. What's your spirit animal?
Ooh, panther.
Nice.
If you could turn an inanimate object into life, what would it be?
My bed, because then he could walk around with me.
Nice.
I love naps.
Best business book you've read.
Business book. Ooh. I haven't started it yet, but I just got it. It's the art of no fucks given, something like that. So can I say that word? I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's a book.
Okay. Or the 4-Hour Work Week. I haven't read it yet, but okay.
I actually just finished reading the 4-Hour Work Week again. So you said you haven't read it yet?
I haven't read it.
Really
I got
good
it.
book. Yeah.
Is it?
I love it.
Yeah, my husband's read it. He's an audiobook guy. I have to have the actual books.
Yeah.
But he says it's so great. Just maximizing your time in that amount of time versus like,
oh yeah,
you know, like instead of the whole day. I always hit this. Sorry, the whole day, and you're like really productive for the first few hours,
sure.
but then you're just sitting around for the rest of the time.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, what does that, gain, right?
Yeah,
I feel like that's very relevant to me. It's like I get everything done in a short period of time. And he's like, you got to read that book. So
yeah, no, I think it'll change the way that anyone does business in a positive way, and give you a ton more free time as well. So
okay, yeah, I want to read that book. I have it. I just haven't gone to it yet. I just started a book club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I just started a book club. We just got done reading The Silent Patient, and now it's Great Small Things by Jodi Picoult. That's one that's up on deck after Wednesday, because we're reconvening on Zoom on Wednesday. And then the next one is Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm a bookie. I like to actually read a book.
That's cool.
Versus
That's
audiobooks.
fun.
See, I can't read. I listen to audiobooks and podcasts all day, but I can't get myself to just sit and read a book, or my mind goes all over the place. That's
relevant. Yeah. My 10-year-old actually really likes reading. I have to read it to her, obviously, but I sit and I read, and she's always like, "Oh, Roblox," And I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to read a book." She's like, "Sweet," and shuts it and comes and reads a book with me. It's cool. So.
That's good. That's
nice.
good.
Well, anything we miss, or any last piece of advice you'd like to give to business owners or wannabe entrepreneurs that are listening?
I feel like the only advice, or the biggest advice that I could give anybody that wants to start their own business, go in it with a business plan. Have some kind of, write it down, what you're thinking, what your ideas are, where you stand for beliefs, what your non-negotiables are. Get that all written down. Don't be afraid to start. I know it's kind of scary, but you could watch YouTube videos. I mean, I watched YouTube videos about finding a space, leasing a space and all the things to ask and stuff. And then get a good tax person, because taxes are a bear. When you run your own business, it's kind of like a trial and error too, like all the things you have to keep track of. But
for sure.
But just don't be scared about doing it. I mean, you can do it. Yeah, there's scarier things out there than starting a business. So, yeah, I feel like that's a good piece of advice. But just go for it.
Yeah, I like that. There's scarier things than starting a business. So think of 3 things you're terrified of that are worse than starting a business. And you'll do it.
Keep that in your head. So.
Okay, well, why don't you tell all our listeners where they can find you, either on social media or if they're wanting to come in, where you're located.
Sweet. Okay. So I'm at Gilbert and Warner. I'm just like a mile away from downtown Gilbert. Yes. You can find me on Instagram. It's Luxe Skin Therapy and Beauty. Also Facebook, Luxe Skin Therapy and Beauty, and my website, www.luxeskinTherapyandbeauty.com. So it's all kind of all the same names, but follow me. And I do personal things during my life, not just, skin stuff and lashes and things. I do photos, but I like to do stories of my life just as I'm a real person. So
that's cool. That's cool. Okay, well, Cierra, thank you so much again for coming on today. We had a real good time and learned a lot about the health and wellness world. So
thank you so much for having me. It was super fun. It was actually really calm. So.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll catch y'all next week.